Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 what the fuck is up there, everybody out there on the YouTube source? Good with Papa Tikyo, coming to you live from the Japan land. Once again, yours truly, a sexual, hot, and steamy at-home rant for all of you guys that are, guys and girl guys who are watching me right now over there at your house. How you guys doing? Thanks again for always checking out my little podcasty channel that I have here. I really appreciate you guys always putting in the hot sexual beef effort to this stuff. I am recording this on a very beautiful Sunday, or not Sunday, it's Friday sunny winter morning here. It's about what the weather, oh, that can't be correct, really. The weather report says it's 6 degrees Celsius outside on one of the live streams I have playing on the background here. That can't be correct, is it? Oh my god, it is 5 degrees Celsius outside, but it feels amazing right now. I have my I'm underneath my kotatsu and I'm wearing my heat tech. I've got my heat tech gloves. Well, I don't know if these are heat tech gloves, but they feel like heat tech. I've got like my little at-home working gloves on for my typing. I've got my nice warm winter fleece on. I've got my heat tech long underwear on with my socks, and I've got my kotatsu going, and my heated Japanese table going, and I have my balcony door open. I'm getting in all this nice sunlight and fresh air into the apartment, and I've got incense lit up in my little shrine thing I got here. And it's awesome. It's a good day, It's a very good start of the day. I just got done with doing a very quick live stream with you guys. And, the client moved. I was supposed to have a fucking meeting like 30 minutes ago. But, I mean, this is one of the things when you're freelance. It's like people, like, when you're dealing with people that, like, run companies and stuff, they're just like, yeah, well, like some not freelancers, but people who get dispatched to do interpreting stuff, usually they just dispatch you for the whole day, and then like you get paid regardless, even if you're not interpreting the whole time. But I don't like doing the whole like have me booked in for a whole day thing, especially when it's just going to be a couple conference calls. So like I am booked in for the next, I don't know, I'd say like probably 3 to 4 hours, but I know the guy, he's like, oh, sorry, I'm on break right now. I'm going to call you back in like an hour and a half. And I was like, okay. So I guess the guy's, when you're like being hired by other people, you just gotta kind of go by their time scheme. But anyway, I'm getting paid while I make this podcast podcast. I already have my green screen up, and I'm wearing my business clothing. My hair's all nice and combed back and everything, and the webcam's ready. So if the guy does call, then I can just pause this recording and start the phone call. But in the meantime, I thought, hey, why don't I make a rant? Because that's one of the things I've been doing, recently, and it's so good, dude. Like, I love doing this so much. Like ever since January started, like the new year started, like one of the things that I do is it's like, okay, I will record a home rant every day. Even though I release one a week, I'm just recording this as a backlog to put in between the walking rants. But then also, at the end of the week, not just the rants, but any other videos I worked on, they're all in Adobe Media Encoder. So while I'm at work, I can just say, okay, export all of these videos that take a long time to export. And I'm usually gone the whole day of Saturday. So then it's like, okay, cool. And it's like, yeah, I got you, Chief. And then it will export all those videos while I'm gone. So I come home and it's like 7 videos are already done, exported, and ready to be uploaded. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for that. It's nice. But anyway, yeah, we're at the 4-minute point here, so let me just do self-promo. Guys, thank you so much for the support always. Have you ever wanted to learn Japanese? Or you want to like do a tour with your dad? Or you just want to read Dad's thoughts about stuff in written form blogs, then consider going over to patreon.com/TKOSam, guys. The link is down below. We've got tons of bonus content there, and it really helps me out when you guys do that. So really appreciate you guys for that. Also, what else, What else do I got to say? Also, yeah, guys, big shout out to everybody who becomes a member on this channel, or specifically the main channel, the TKO Sam channel. I'm trying, apparently, like, one of the big incentives for YouTubers to really push the membership program is that you get more emojis, more emoji slots to fill with your emojis, the more members you get. And right now we have about 100 members, and so even if you guys gift sub the memberships or whatever to people, that still counts towards the overall number. And like my goal for the moment right now is to get like 200 subs, or 200 quote-unquote memberships, and they're like $1, you know? They're like $1 each. They're super cheap, and that way I can really start filling up my YouTube with more emojis. And like today, we did a great thing where it's like I've got a greeting emoji, so it's the coffee talk, so he's saying hi, and then like at the end of the stream, we've got Jim's thank you for your service emoji, and it's pretty cool. So. But yeah, guys, anyway, always appreciate you guys being so sexy and awesome. So, yeah, become a member. You can do Super Chat or Super Thanks. Big shout out to today's person who did a Super Chat or a Super Thanks. Boom. Yes, yes, thank you to whoever your name is for your awesome contribution to the Hot Dad Fund. Really appreciate you. Thank you guys so much, by the way. You know, it's just I always appreciate you guys doing this. I'm going to shout out people, too. Individually, randomly, who do the super chats and super thanks from now on too, and the vlogs as well. So very big thank you to everybody who does that, because you're supporting my hobby. You know, I get to do this for fun, and you know, I get to go do cool things. Like right after I record this, I'm gonna be editing a food review. But actually, no, I don't want to do the food review. It's already there, but I want to kind of like make the food review a little bit more classy. Put a little bit more effort into the editing. So I think I'm just going to release a compilation vlog on Sunday. But yeah, it's great, you know. Like today is really solid. So yeah, guys, do me a favor and just help me out with the engagement. Smash the like button and leave a comment. And I guess the question of the day is, yeah, pertaining to the topic, do you guys think America will be great again? Because I do believe in tribalism. I do believe in, like, you got to kind of stick with your own for the most part. But at the same time, there's no reason why you can't have a civil discussion with people, you know? And so, yeah, guys, I always appreciate you guys coming in here and sharing your thoughts with me. But, yeah, do you think from 2025, do you think America will be great again? Or did you think America was already great? Let me know in the comments down below, because, yeah, you know, we're going to get into it today, because I'm on Twitter, and Elon loves, he loves tweeting, and I like reading his tweets, and it's just the shit that's going on right now is just crazy, and I wanted to talk about it. So yeah, guys, let me know your thingy things. And here, let me get a nice sip of my iced coffee with whole milk. Oh, oh, so good, so good. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I just want to spiel a little bit before I get into the main topic today. Don't worry, this is why we have timestamps, right? So, like, if you guys are listening to this, you're like, I don't care, just get into the topic. You can just skip to that part in the video, and it's all good. But yeah, no, it's just, I'm feeling really good today. You know, aside from I always feel good when the weather's good. You know, it's just one of those things where if it's, like, dark and overcast and gloomy, like, what is it about colors that makes us so, like, about it, you know? And it can't be like a fake, like, blue, like putting on sunglasses or something with like a blue tint. Like, the sun has to be naturally blue, and you have to see clouds and stuff. It's weird, but it's nice, you know? It's so funny because, like, in summer, like, everyone always thinks like summer skies are so great, but it's like it's so hot you can't even go out to enjoy it. And then on top of that, like, muggy days are still a thing, right? Where it's like winter with overcast, except it's hot and there's no shade and it's just shizen. Yeah, luckily, again, you know, we've got our own little refuge. You know, I like hanging out at home even when it's muggy or when the weather's bad. But from this year, I want to change that up. You know, I want to force myself to go outside more and do stuff. You know. But yeah, anyway, guys, it's just I'm feeling good because I went over to my friend's house last night. His wife is she's a professional musician. I don't know. I don't think he'd want me to get into the details, but she's not like super famous, but she's famous with the people who know. like the kind of music that she does. But anyway, my friend's stuck with the kids, and she's on like a business trip doing her music stuff or whatever, and so I was just chilling. My friend came over to finally check out my place yesterday, and it's been like, I don't know, like a 2.5 years since I moved in here, and now he finally came over here. And it's funny, like when a woman comes over, like I'll clean up the place, I'll vacuum, I'll put everything in like the closet, I'll get the nice slippers made, like prepared for her and all this stuff. But it's like my guy friend's coming over. I don't give a shit about cleaning. And so yeah, he came over, and I'm like, oh hey, like what's up? I was like, sorry, it's messy, but you're a dude and I don't care. But yeah, that was really fun though, because my friend has he's got like elementary age daughters, and they are what is it, like they always like to obviously, like, my friend, he's got his wife and he's got his daughter, so they're always eating healthy, I think. I don't know. I actually don't know what they cook, but he's European, so I'm guessing they cook relatively healthy stuff. But anyway, my buddy was like he didn't know that I cook, And he's like, wow, you have like a big fridge and a freezer and all this stuff. Like, holy shit, like you cook? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, why don't you come over to my house and like let's cook, let's do some cooking or whatever, the kids would love to see you. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, but I got some stuff to do here and then I'll come over. But anyway, I was like, yeah dude, if you pay for the ingredients, I'll cook for you. And so it's so funny because my buddy really wanted to just drink. He wanted to like have a barbecue grill kind of thing, like yakiniku kind of thing, and then have a bunch of beers. But the wife's not there, so he's got to take care of the two little munchkins the whole fucking time. And so even though we bought like 2 6-packs of beer, we couldn't drink it at all because the kids were, he had to get, he had to give the kids dinner, make sure their fucking homework was done. And then, he's got to fucking, after we eat dinner, like they have to get ready for bed tomorrow. And so like we only got to drink like a few beers, and that was really funny. But yeah, anyway, regardless though, that was a great night though. Like because I was like, well, let's do something simple. The kids, kids love meat, they love vegetables. Well, I don't know if they love meat or vegetables, but if you're going to drink alcohol in Japan, in my opinion, you need to eat healthy food. And like in America, it's like I eat, fucking Taco Bell or some shit, right? But in Japan, it's like, like you eat hot pot. Which is fine, but I don't really like the whole soup thing that much anymore. Like, it's not really my jam, so I was like, hey, if I have a frying pan, let's just cook some meat. And so we got a bunch of different meat. We got, like, pork and beef, and we got all these vegetables. And it's so funny because he's like, my daughters, they hate onion, green onion. They hate peppers. They hate black pepper. And I was like, yeah, well, they'll like it. I'm cooking this. They'll like it. And it's so funny. They ate it. And he's like, what the fuck? You guys never like this stuff when I cook this. And they're like, I don't know why. I just like it, Dad. Sorry. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I win. Uncle Sam wins again. Yeah, take that, Europe. But, yeah, I don't know. That was just nice. I was like, hey, dude, if you clean up afterwards, I don't mind. And, like, the whole thing is like, it's like my friend's a smart guy, but he is so, I mean, when you're a parent, like you have to be on autopilot for a lot of things, and I'm not like, I'm not giving him shit for that or whatever, but it's like, like we went to the supermarket and he's all in a rush. He's like, oh, we need to get this stuff. And I was like, why are you in a rush? And he's like, I got to take my daughter to swim lessons that are down the street. And I'm like, well, it's going to take me a bit to get all this stuff, so just walk her to the fucking swim lessons, dude. And he's like, well, no, she's in 6th grade now. She has to learn to, like, walk to the swim lessons by herself. And I was like, look, dude, you're rushing me, okay? Like, we've got, like, the whole night to hang out. Just take her to the swim lessons. I'll get the food, and, like, you'll probably be back by the time I've finished. So, yeah, and he was like, okay, yeah, here's some cash, like, just fucking get the stuff. And I was like, yeah. And it's so funny because it's like, if I was younger, I just remember kind of like in pickup artist like terms, they say going like, holding the frame. And so like the frame is like what you're thinking, like, your energy. I guess you could say your energy, kind of. And so like when you enter somebody else's frame, in order to not offend them, you're like matching their energy, you're matching their frame. But the thing is that like if you're always I don't know if you would say like strong mentality or something, but I mean the whole point is just like as long as your frame is strong, like your focus, your energy, you're in the moment is strong, then you're not gonna let outside stuff fuck with you. You know, like I think a lot of people feel bad because they're always reacting to shit. And it's like, nah, you know, it's like Bruce Lee said, I don't wait for opportunities, I create my own. And so I'm just there with my buddy, and he's all freaking out because he wants to like go and do all the shopping before his daughter goes to the swim class. And I was like, dude, just fucking take her. It's gonna be like 10 minutes, come back. And anyway, yeah, it was great because it's like my buddy doesn't even know. Like he doesn't like he's like, oh, you know, the kids don't like this stuff, and I'm like, well, look, let's buy some stuff for the kids. That's just like plain boring ass vanilla style like food, and then you and I will cook like the kind of, I mean, it's not even fucking spicy or tangy, it's just onions and peppers, you know. But anyway, I was like, well, let's just do that, and you know, we'll have both. We'll have like kid food and our food. And so you know, I asked, and it was like a really nice supermarket. I'm always usually used to going to the shitty supermarkets that don't have much of a selection, or they're like the wholesale ones, you know, where it's like what you see is what you get. But when you go to an actual official Japanese supermarket here, like, you know, the one that, like, for example, the one supermarket I go to, they have one thing of lettuce. You know, they have like one brand of lettuce or whatever you want to call it. They have one brand of spinach, and that's it. That's all you get. Like, they got one provider for that. But if you go to like a normal Japanese supermarket, like, I don't know, what are the names, like Life, or like Ozeki, or I don't know, what's another big one, I think it's called Kohl's or something. Anyway, I mean, the whole point is they usually have like a bunch of options besides just like one option. But and it's cool though, because like, you know, I'm usually used to getting the same size like onions every time, right? But like this one, they had like really nice thick ones, they had small ones. And then also I asked the guy, the fucking guy at that was like, you know, working there, I was like, can you get me some garlic stalks, or can you show me where the garlic stalks are? And I said ninniku no mi, but it's ninniku me, which is, so it's not me, it's me, and me is like I guess in Japanese that's the stalk. It's not the root, it's the stalk. And so he's like, oh yeah, and I like, you know, and so yeah, because like in case you guys, if you guys have never tried it, I don't know if they have it where you guys are. I mean, it's from garlic, but I just don't know if your guys' supermarkets carry it. But yeah, if you can cook, if you guys ever try cooking meat with those garlic stalks, it's so good. It's just basically garlic, but it's like a nice chewy green vegetable that cooks really well with meat. Anyway, yeah, I just, you know, long story short, I cooked that stuff for my friend, and he really liked it, and I made sure the kids got ice cream and stuff afterwards too, so they were happy about that. And you know, and I got fruit too, so like our appetizer was like eating fruit, like we had oranges and bananas. And like my friend's like, wow, like you really eat healthy. I was like, yeah. And he's like, why are you fat? And I'm like, I'll fucking slap the shit out of you. How dare you do this? And yeah, I don't know, I mean, like it really made me feel grateful for like my current circumstances, because it's like my friend, he's got the kids, you know, and so he's always kind of on autopilot. He's always thinking about what they need to do first or whatever, and so it's not that he's not thinking straight, it's just he's not thinking as straight as me. But anyway, that was really fun, you know, because I don't know, it's like when their mom is there, it's pretty strict, you know, like it's right, like, you know, it's her way or the highway kind of thing. And I like their mom, by the way, like I got no beef with her. But that was just nice that you know, we got to have like boys' night with the girls, and that was fun. And we played Zelda afterwards, and the kid's like, I don't understand this game, and I was like, dude, you're in 6th grade. Well, you know, don't worry, like I'm gonna watch me play, and I'm gonna explain stuff to you, and then I'm gonna leave the game here, and you can play. Yeah, my buddy he borrowed the fucking the game from me for 6 months. Didn't fucking let the kids didn't play it, because I'm like, you got to show them. You can't just give a kid a game when they're younger and expect them to get it. Some games, yeah, but like other games, like it's just like the Big Brother factor. Like if you see your big brother playing a video game, then you're like, you see other people playing it, then it becomes less intimidating because you know what you want to do, you know. So Anyway, yeah, that was just fun, you know. Like, had a bunch of, because I don't have a rice cooker at my house, and it's probably better because, like, if I had a rice cooker here, I would be eating rice all the time, and that's not good news, bears. But yeah, that was just so great. Just had a bunch of meat, had a bunch of fruits and like rice and just veggies last night, and some beers and some, you know, a lot of water, and then just rode the motorcycle home in 0-degree weather. Fuck yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I'm sitting here today, just took nice, I cleared the pipes, this morning by doing the business, and, yeah, I just had some fruit. I'm on my second cup of coffee, and, yeah, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make another rant today. Like, I did a live stream earlier, but I want to make, because I'm trying not to do live streams on Friday, because I don't want to oversaturate my live streams, but at the same time, like, if it's only for an hour and I wanted to live stream, I guess what I'm saying is that, like, I'm obligated, like, I feel like I need to do the live streams on Wednesday and Sunday just to kind of keep up the pace of my stuff right now, but like, I don't want to feel obligated to do it 3 times a week. I'm okay with 2 times a week, but 3 times a week is the limit I want to have for like, you know, on occasion. Like, I only want to do that when I want to stream that 3rd time kind of thing, you know? And that was good, though. So, yeah, having a good day, slept really well, and, yeah, I just wanted to talk about American politics, I guess, right? Got to talk about American politics, Trump, and the right, and the Republicans, and all this stuff. And it's so funny, because I'm basically regurgitating shit I said during my live streams, but a lot of you guys don't, you know, it's like, what, 45,000 subscribers, and we get maybe 200 different, like, unique people coming in per live stream, so that's literally like 45,000 plus people that didn't see that. So, and yeah, it's cool. That's another really fun thing that I like too, like, sometimes live streaming at the time that I normally don't live stream, because, like, there's random people that are like, oh shit, dude, like, you live stream? I haven't seen your channel in forever. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool, dude, what's up? Like, we had 2 of those people today, and yeah, it's funny though. Like, people are like, hey man, if I come to Japan, can I meet up with you? And I'm like, motherfucker, like, this is the first time I'm seeing you in the chat, dude. Come on. It's like, yeah, you know, they're not trolling either. They're sincere, and I'm like, join the community at least, man. But yeah, Coffee Slayer asked, he was like, Dad, if I come to Japan, like, I could bring you stuff. And I'm like, dude, I don't need stuff. Like, you guys brought me a bunch of stuff, and I appreciate it, but just hard cash. Just sign up for the tour, man. Like, you know, you don't even need to buy me beers or anything. Just throw some cash at Dad so we can hang out, because you're not paying me for my time. I mean, technically you are, but at the same time, you're just paying for the channel, dude. You're, like, making the channel, like, you know, you're ensuring that more content comes out, you know, because this is a time commitment, despite whatever you want to say about the quality of these streams or, like, these videos. But, you know, it is a time commitment, it is an energy commitment, and it's nice to get something back on occasion, you know. I don't expect it, but I'm not gonna not ask for it either, you know what I mean? It's just gauging expectations kind of thing, right? But anyway, yeah, let's get into the topic. Okay, so, you know, God, I had to stop recording to take a piss, just to recollect, you know, collect my thoughts, so to speak. You know, I needed to think about what is it that I want to say about, you know, like, well, I mean, first off, like, why am I making this, like, obviously, like, kind of dividing, what do you call it, polarizing topic, video, you know, like, why did I choose this as a topic? You know, aren't we all friends? You know, like, why do I want to separate my, or divide my fan base? What, you know, quote unquote, whatever kind of fan base it is. And, well, I mean, for one, if you've been watching my live streams, you already know where I stand politically, or at least, like, where my values are. And, so it shouldn't be a surprise for anybody, like, the topics that I'm talking about. But, also, it's just, yeah, guys, I mean, this is a big deal, you know? Like, I feel like, up until now, I mean, I was a young lad, you know? Like, like, up until now, like, when it's, like, Obama or Clinton or Bush, you know, I didn't really give a shit about, like politics. I didn't care what was happening in the world, because none of it really affected me, you know? And also, like, I didn't really watch the news. I didn't care, because, like, none of that shit affected me, because even though I was like an English teacher, it's like, oh yeah, I'm making like not minimum wage, but I'm not making a lot of money, and I'm like living such a simple life. I'm just trying to survive. Like, I really don't give a shit about all this other stuff that's going on in the world. Like, I live in a very peaceful place, and like none of this really affects me, so why should I give a shit? And but it's just like, you know, I think it just comes with age too. The older you get, the more boring you get, and you listen to the news or you watch the news, and yeah, you know, it's just like I don't know. It's like this is like one of the weird things too. It's like I think like I'm a special case, special. It's because I can only tell you guys from my perspective, just like you guys can only tell me from your perspective. But like, when you are a YouTuber, like when you do YouTube or whatever, or like any kind of online stuff, streaming or like content creation or something, you're bound to meet other people. I mean, like, I spent the first probably 10 plus years of this quote unquote YouTube channel like meeting people. Like, one of the best things about doing YouTube was like I got to meet my viewers, you know, like that was like the first big bonus I ever got, because you got to remember, like, YouTube wasn't monetizable until like very much later when I started, you know. So it's like YouTube for me at that time was just for fun. Like, it gave me a chance to meet other YouTubers. I didn't think they would meet me unless I like put myself out there like they did. And then also too, it's just like you know, like God, the Mike and Ike, my first ever YouTube viewers that I met, you know. These two black dudes from New York they worked for Delta, and they got to fly over here first class for like $300 each, just because, I don't know, I guess it worked like that back then. But they were cool, man. Like, I met them in Asakusa. I had been on YouTube for a couple months, and then like since then I've met so many other fucking viewers and stuff. And usually when I meet you guys, like, I keep in touch with you, you know, like I talk to you guys and stuff. And I think, I don't know, I mean, like, I can't talk for other YouTubers, right? I can only talk for my fan base or my viewer base or whatever you want to call it, my hot gay sons. I can only talk for you guys. And the thing is that, like, you guys are, you know, you're special. Kid, damn, I don't know what the fuck you just said, but you're special, man. You're different. Scott, give me the map. Give me the map, Scott. You know, it's like, I think that you gravitate towards people who are similar to you, right? And so I think, like, a lot of you guys, even if we might, like, differentiate on opinions when it comes to certain things, like, I think we all kind of, like, you know, you like to hang around with people who you feel like would get you, you know? It's like whenever those people are like, I'm in a group, but I've never felt so alone. And it's like, well, hang out with people that understand you then, or like that appreciate you, you know? Like, dumbass. But anyway, it's just like, you know, as I've kept in touch with you guys over the years, like, a lot of you guys are American. There's some of you that like don't live in America or whatever, and, you know, whatever. But a lot of you guys do live in America. And so when stuff happens, like, you guys tell me from your perspective. Like, I trust your guys' opinion about, like, what's actually happening in your life versus something I'd see on the news, right? Like, you know, you always want to confirm with people that are on the ground, right? And, you know, it's just so, yeah, you know, and, but anyway, it's just like, over the last couple years, like, I kind of became politicized, and it's because more and more woke shit was getting, like, injected into the stuff that I like, you know? Like, I don't play a lot of new video games. Like, I don't have a PS5, but, you know, if a new video game comes out, I want to play it. I want to see it. And, like, that's why it's so rare when you get games like Zelda or something where it's like there's no political ideology. I mean, like, Japan's one of the few bastions of freedom that still doesn't try to force politics down your throat. But you know, it's funny, I was watching this Asmongold reaction to this guy named V on YouTube, and he basically did a video on why are like, what happened to America, you know, like, why are Americans like, why did Trump win, why is, like, quote unquote the right so strong or something right now. And the guy's title of the video was, "You fucked with video gamers." And they're like, really? You're just so petty that you, like, wanted to you help, like, overturn an election or whatever, or, like, help, like, another side win just because we pissed you off, and it's like, yeah. And you know, it's funny because like it seems obvious, right? And of course there's more than just gamers out there, but there's like a big majority of people that didn't give a shit about politics, you know? Like, we didn't care. Like, if you wanted to be trans and do all your weird shit, as long as it didn't happen around us, and like especially as long as it wasn't in our media, we didn't give a fuck. Like, you know, you go do you, just leave us alone. But then woke shit started happening. Like, it was in the new movies, in the new TV shows, like in the video games that we loved, you know, that didn't really have anything to do with politics, all of a sudden started, like, you know, going like not even just slightly, like heavily into politics shit. And then it's like everybody was afraid of offending. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just grifting, you know, like you go with the times of like whoever's in charge and controlling the narrative. You go with that flow kind of thing. And I think like since Biden came into office, it was very like, you know, it was very like just heavily woke shit, you know, and like you know, like they're like, well, you know, woke used to mean that it was like very like you know, you were waking up to the bullshit. It was supposed to be the red pill. But the thing is that a lot of people were grifting like that, you know, like they were they were making up problems just so they could fix them, so they could make money. And that was happening for everything. A lot of people were smart and they caught on to it and they were making money off of it, you know. Like I just posted on Twitter how this Chinese, this guy who used to work for the Chinese embassy in Japan, he started a very high-scale Chinese luxury restaurant. But during Corona, the Japanese government was giving out stipends, or like basically like vouchers to like restaurants and other places that couldn't do social gatherings to basically pay them for the loss of money. And this Chinese guy and his partners, they ripped off the government for like $2.7 million, which I don't know, you guys might not think is a lot. I think that's a lot of money. And anyway, that guy's in a lot of trouble for that, you know, like and so, but he was just grifting. He was grifting with the times, right? And it's just like with this woke stuff, you know, like nobody, like none of these gamers, none of these people who like watched Marvel movies or whatever, they didn't really give a shit about politics because it was never like in front of them, you know, like it wasn't at their work, and like when they come home and they're playing a video game or something, it's not there either. But like I guess somewhere, some collective decided on the left or liberal side that they're like, okay, we're gonna make more of a political message. And I think it's just, again, it comes down to being lazy, right? Like when you have people that are motivated to get into that space or whatever, to become a game developer or whatever, right? Then you're kind of at the mercy of them. But at the same time, it's like, well, what about the company though? Like, what if it's a big company and they're pushing that woke shit more than the employees? And it's like, well, yeah, then you're kind of at the mercy of the employer, right? And so it's just, it's funny because like all these dudes, they didn't give a shit about politics before, but like as soon as that woke shit started happening, they're like, okay, who are you guys against? Oh, we're against the right. We're against the Republicans. Okay, I'm going to help them win now. What? No, you're supposed to agree with us, you know? Like you weren't like being like so vocal about agreeing with us, so we're going to put this into your media now. And like you're gonna agree with us, and they're like, no, you ruined my playtime. I hate you. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure you lose and shit. And it's like when you think about it, it's like not everybody who plays video games are autistic or Aspergery, right? But there's a good portion of them that are. And like even if they're not, like if you play video games, like especially if it's like stupid shit like Elden Ring or something where you gotta have super hyper reflexes and you gotta memorize all this shit on the map, then you know, you can hyper fixate on a topic and you can see where they're lacking, you know, like for example the government and all the money that they spend for taxes and shit, right? And so and then the Democrats are like, oh shit, like they overplayed their cards. They overplayed their hand, you know, like up until now they were like, oh, we just need more people on our side and we're gonna force people to be on our side. And but then it's like, oh, well, you don't realize that the Democrats do a lot of, I mean, politicians in general, it doesn't need to be Democrats or Republicans, but all of these government funded programs, it's like you find out it's just all bullshit. Now, it could just be like CIA, they call them slush funds or whatever, where they're just, oh yeah, this is just like a program and nobody really looks into these. So if we want to spend money on like government shady shit, it's like, oh yeah, you know, like teaching dolphins Spanish in Korea or something like that. You know, like we're teaching kids to be trans in Guatemala or something. Guatemala trans musicals or some shit. It's like Americans are like, hey, dude, that's my money. Why are you spending my money there? And like, you know, why are you being so racist? Blah blah. Blah. And so, you know, like they get pissed off. You know, they get like entitled and shit, right? So, yeah, you know, like you poked the wrong bear, you know. And now all these Democrats that are corrupt, that have been accepting shit money, they're panicking, and so they're just like, well, this guy's racist, he's stealing all the funding. Look at this woman who we never gave a shit about. She was doing clinical trials using government funding, and now it's gone. And it's like, yeah, that's horrible, but that's like 1 out of 10, you know? Like, all the rest of the 9 programs that you guys have are just bullshit. And it's like, you've been spending all this money to go abroad, and like, sure, like, you know, for example, like, maybe, like, the thing is like, the government will never tell you like up front what they need that money for, because they don't want to be transparent, because if they're transparent once, they're gonna have to be transparent every time after that, and they don't want to be held to that standard. But it's like, for like the Ukraine and Israel shit, like, I don't agree with it, but I understand, right? Like, there's a difference between disagreeing with it and not understanding, and like, because there's always the good reason and the real reason. I remember a wise man once told me that there's the good reason and the real reason. And so it's like, if you support, or I mean, like for example, like America sends money to Israel. They send so much money to Israel all the time. The good reason is that we're supporting Israel because they're our friends or something in the Middle East, and we don't have many friends. But the real reason is that we pay them to spy on everybody, you know? We pay them to spy on all the other fucking brown companies, brown people countries that don't agree with our politics or whatever. We ask them to spy on them because they're in the region. And, yeah, you know, like, they grease hands of all these other people to make America more profitable, etc., right? And so, like, that's the real reason, in my opinion. And same thing with the Ukraine. It's like, we send all this money to the Ukraine, but why? And it's like, well, they want to launder money. Like, the good reason is that we help Ukrainian people defend themselves from an attack. But the real reason is that the government wants to launder money. And, like, you could see, like, you know, like, there was a couple, like, there was, like, at least, 1 or 2 articles that was, like, Zelensky admits that he didn't do a lot of, like, paper, like, they can't track a good portion of the money that came to Ukraine. Like, they're like, where's the receipts? He's like, you're gonna have to check with me next week, kind of thing. Like, they didn't keep track. You know, every year, the fucking, the Treasury loses, like, billions of dollars that they just didn't keep track of, you know? So it's like, it's obviously either going to dirty politicians, you know, shell companies kind of thing, or it's just going towards, like, dark, shady government projects, like a Metal Gear that they're not telling you about, right? This is one of the government black projects. See, that was when like politics were fun. Like Metal Gear's, like, it wasn't. I don't know if it was true, but it made sense though, right? It's like the Metal Gear's like, oh yeah, like, you know, government has secret funds that they use to develop secret weapons to fight against other countries that they don't want to be public with. And it's like, okay, I could kind of get that. You know, I could kind of make sense about that. It's like, you know, $20 million for, like, Sesame Street in Iraq? No, I don't. No. Like, at least lie. At least say you're, like, helping them develop weapons or something, you know? Like, come up with a better lie. But yeah, I mean, like, the whole thing is just, like, it's... Like, I think we're very privileged right now. We're in a time where, up until now, I didn't see any chance for change. Like, you know, it was just, everyone was kind of compliant, you know? It was just like, okay, the government has always been a sketchy, corrupt place that wastes our money and doesn't take care of the citizens. And yeah, like, everyone just kind of accepted that for a fact. Like, you know, all these people that always say, like, well, you know, the government funding for all of this stuff. It's like, what stuff are you talking about? Like, well, Medicaid and all of these all of these clinics that like are government funded. It's like, have you ever been to one of those clinics? I grew up going to those clinics, and most of those clinics have private donors that keep them fucking afloat. Like, the government helps when they can, but if you guys have ever tried to sign up for Obamacare or anything, you'll know the government is not efficient. Like, it doesn't, like, it works less than half the time when you're doing stuff. And so, I mean, I guess, I don't know what I'm saying. It's just like, but for once, Trump's an old guy, man. Like, I don't know how long. I think he's like 79 or 80 now. And it's so funny because people are like, I don't want an 80-year-old running the country. And it's like, well, look at the contrast between Trump and Biden, Biden, he barely did any fucking talking. And when he did talk, he would always get cut off. Like, his staff would always be like, okay, that's enough questions for today. They cut him off. You see Trump talk for hours and hours. No fucking, no editing, no script, just going off. And some people are like, yeah, but he's lying about everything, so it doesn't matter. It's like, dude, like, Biden pardoned his whole family. Like, I don't know if did Trump pardon his whole family? It's like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't matter about the small things. You got to look at the bigger picture here. And it's like Kamala and her team, or whatever you want to call it, the left, they wanted to get rid of voter ID, dude. Like, the one thing that guarantees, to an extent, like, that can hopefully guarantee to an extent is, like, that the election would be fair, that you can verify. They wanted to get rid of it, They wanted to get rid of the fucking, they wanted to get rid of voter ID. They wanted to make that a thing in every state, dude. Like, how? It's like, I don't understand how anybody could want to vote left in 2025 that lives in the real world, Like, I was mentioning this during my stream that, like, my aunt and my cousin, they're both, like, white liberal women, and they're very, very liberal. And, like, when my mom died, like, they, I hadn't talked to them for a while, and they came out and they were messaging me for months. And then November came around, and they're all complaining about Trump, winning. And I said I supported Trump. I didn't vote, but I was like, I support Trump. I think he's going to change, and you need to not freak out so much. Like, there's going to be good things coming from this. And since then, they just stopped talking to me. It's been months now, and they don't reply to my emails or whatever. And it's fine, because I never really talked to them to begin with, but it's just like they cut me off because I support a different side than them. And, but these are privileged white people, white gated community kind of white people, like they have it's so funny because my cousin even said, she's like, I don't feel safe going down the streets of New York. Like, I only leave the house really when my husband is with me. And I'm like, how are you voting blue still? Because that's what caused that, And it's like, I have another friend that lives in New York City too, and she's Latina. Her parents came over legally, I don't know, like a couple decades ago. And she's pissed off because she's like, all these illegal immigrants, they're getting all these handouts for basically breaking the rules. And she's like, meanwhile, my parents and I are like, we have to live in an apartment. Like, she lives with her husband and her 2 kids and her parents in the same fucking apartment in New York because rent's so high. And she's like, we get no help from the government. Meanwhile, all these other people, they're getting rewarded for basically coming over and not doing the visa process that, like, I think, like, her mom came over first and then her dad came over, and it was a long fucking process. And she's like, we went through all that shit. They didn't give us any bonuses or whatever, and these motherfuckers just, like, climb a fence or whatever, and then, like, they get all this stuff. Like, what the fuck message does that send to any country in the world, And it's like, it shows that we're compassionate. It shows that we care. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, it doesn't. Like, it just shows that, like, hey, we got a lot of free stuff here, and we don't care. Like, come and do that. So, I don't know, man. It's like, it pisses me off because, like, I have Japanese friends who speak fluent English, and they want to live in America. And one guy in particular, my buddy Toshi, like, he fucking moved over to America. He graduated from college in America. He speaks fluent English, like, not just like regular English. It sounds like he grew up there because his English got so good. And he does theater. He does all this stuff. And, and well, I guess Yeah, I guess he can't. Well, he could get, I guess, gay married or something, maybe if he wanted a spouse visa. But, yeah, like like he had a job, and then the job they didn't fire him, but they had layoffs. So of course they get rid of the immigrants first. And in America, if you don't find a new job within, like I think it's like 1 to 3 months, because like your visa is tied to your job in America. So if you lose your job and you don't find another job immediately, you're fucked. You have to go home. And so it's like people like my buddy Toshi, they spend all this money for lawyers, for immigration lawyers, and they're doing everything right. They're doing it by the book. And he had to, anyway, long story short, he had to come back to Japan. He had to come back for a couple years, and then I think he married his boyfriend, and they went back to America. And see, like, I'm not even against like gay marriage or fucking like trans people at all. I'm against grifters, if that makes sense. I'm against mentally ill people trying to make money off of stuff, because like I don't think being gay is a mental illness. I don't think that it's like a disease or something. Like I think it's just in my opinion, being gay is like liking peanut butter. Some people grow up and they automatically love peanut butter, and they love it their whole life and they never get sick of it. And some dudes just like me, like I grew up in a house that loves peanut butter, and I'm not allergic to peanut butter, but I just don't like fucking peanut butter. And that's my opinion when it comes to gay people. It's just like some people are just born gay, They just like, hey, like even if they try to be straight, they can't be straight. There's no Milo, whatever the guy's name, Yovankovich or something. There's no guys like that. That's not real. But it's just like, America just became a shit show, dude. Like it just became a weird ass fucking shit show. And I don't know. It's just like I feel like if there's any time for massive change in America, now's the time to do it. Like now's the time where it's gonna be where we have the chance to change, And I'm looking forward to it. Like I think that this is it's fun seeing the rats panic, Like what is it? It's like I forgot what they said, but it's like when there's a sinking ship or something. Like the first ones to like leave the boat are rats. And like before the people, right? Like they see it coming, and but that implies that the ship is going down. But I don't think the ship's going down. I think that the rats know that like there's another ship coming by, and like the ship's going down, and the rats are jumping in the water because they're not smart enough to jump over to the other side, to the other boat. And so all the other rats that have been corrupt and getting money this whole time, they're panicking. And their only excuse is that Elon bad. He should not have. I mean, that's the great thing about Twitter, dude. Like, I love it. Twitter reality checks people in real time, It's like Elon Musk should not have access to all of these documents because he's not qualified. He didn't get voted in. And then the first top reply is like, these are people currently in your government who didn't get voted in who have access to these documents. You only don't like Elon Musk. So that's why you have an issue of this. You don't have an issue of any of these people because they're on your side, And like I grew up poor, man, and like I guess like what is it? Like I don't think there's any nobility in being poor, but I think growing up without anybody caring about you or any resources really does shape your reality in a way where you see through the bullshit really quickly, And it's like, sure, there's some government programs that do help, but I don't think there's a lot, And in 2025, where you can do GoFundMes, where you can get private investing more easily, I just think that it's never good to rely on the government to have your back, if that makes sense, Like, it's like that whole thing where, like, if you get arrested, you should have a lawyer on private retainer. Don't just take a kokuben goshi or whatever, Don't take the regular, state-appointed lawyer kind of thing, right? And so it's like all these people that are crying that they're like, oh, we're relying on the government, like we're like, like the whole thing about like the Department of Education too. Like I don't see what the problem is, because like when you're in school, they're teaching you at the slowest. Like a school is like a fleet of ships, and so a fleet of ships can only move as fast as its slowest fucking boat, right? And so most schools just teach at a molasses retard pace, and they can't do anything about it because it's a federal decided curriculum, whatever. So giving the power back to the state on what they want to teach is not a bad thing, And Like, hell, it should be more individualized. I mean, the great thing about America is, quote unquote, our diversity, right? So why would you be against that? Like, if I'm in America, if I'm in Colorado, or if I'm in fucking Tennessee, or I'm trying to think of like other states. What is it? Like, if I'm in Minnesota, no, that's north. If I'm in West Virginia or something, like, I want to learn about stuff from that state, and I want to learn what the state has decided to teach me, right? It's like you need to go where your values are matched, right? So if you're not like a Bible thumper or whatever, I guess you can go to not Utah. I don't know, New York. I don't know. Like if you love Christianity or something, it's probably good to go to a state where there's a lot of religious stuff happening, right? And if you're not, like, it's probably good to move to another state where it's not. And so it's like I'm just saying, like, you got to get in where you fit in, right? It always comes back to you got to get in where you fit in. And yeah, I don't know. It's funny, and it is, ma'am. But yeah, I don't know. It was on my mind today. I'm like, shit, like America, all this stuff happening, like, you know, because it's crazy, man. Like, we're only a couple months into the new year, and I wonder, like, where's it gonna go? Like, that's a good question for you guys. Like, do you think, like, for all of you guys who are not in America, like, I saw these, you know, like, one of the guys during my live stream, he was like, I'm not American, but this gives me so much hope. I think he was in the UK or something. And he's like, if this can happen in America, this can happen in the UK. Like, we have the power to take it back, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking good, man. Like, I agree. Like, fucking, like, this gives me hope that it's like, oh, yeah, all these things that were not productive up until now, yeah, they're going to be productive again, you know? We're going to make it happen kind of thing. And I like that. I like it a lot. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Like, that was so crazy. Like, I saw that, like, these people on Reddit were like calling for the death. Like, they were like they were like not even insinuating or implying. They were like, let's kill these guys, and for like Elon's team and stuff, and they were doxing like their names, their addresses and shit. And it's just like, dude, like, you can't, like, freedom of speech doesn't mean that you call for open murder on somebody, no matter how different their opinions are, you know? And yeah, I think that's not cool. Like, you're not supposed to do that ever, right? And yeah, so I don't know, I saw that and I was like, wow, that's really fucked up. And then, like, I think like the day or two afterwards, I think it was Trump or somebody tweeted, they're like, yeah, we're gonna get the FBI on this. Like, I'm really curious to see what comes of that, because it's like, if somebody threatened the president, it doesn't matter if it was a joke or like being sarcastic. Like, the government's going to investigate that, and you will go to jail. Like, I mean, fuck, dude. Like, the creators of Game of Thrones, did you guys hear about that story? Like, during Game of Thrones, when, like, after Ned Stark dies, they have all these, like, heads on pikes or whatever on, like, in the fucking, like, what do you call it? Like, in the castle or whatever, right? And one of the masks they use that you can barely even see was like a mask of George Bush or whatever. And they only did that because they bought a bunch of different masks, you know? And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll just use this or whatever, right? And but because of that, those guys who created Game of Thrones or like created the series or what, the TV series, they got put on a no-flight list. Like, indefinitely. I don't know when that got turned off, but yeah, like, they did that because it's like, you threatened the president, and it's like, bruh. And I don't know, man. I think there's a big difference between being like, I don't like this person, I don't agree with them, versus being like, yeah, this person needs to die. Like, I think there's a difference between, like, somebody's opinions and their actions. Like, you know, like, when when people say stupid shit like, oh, well, this is going to lead to fascism, this is going to lead to Nazi stuff, and I'm like, oh, yeah, because, you know, the Nazis were all about, like, you know, giving rights back to the individual sections, and you know, like, they were, I don't know, man, it's just, it's such a lazy argument when you, like, I see all these liberal friends of mine on Facebook, and they're like, you know, if you're compliant, the people, the Nazis first came for everyone, and everyone was compliant, and then eventually they came for you. And it's like, I don't think they were going after regular citizens, bro. But I don't know, I mean, like, I think it's just like, you're comparing apples and oranges kind of thing, right? Like, it's like, you keep using this word, I do not think you understand what it means, you know? But yeah, I don't know. That's the thing I gotta say about Obama. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going to come up because it's not even like a fight of like who's good or bad. It's just like who is mentally ill and delusional, and who's a rational thinking, practical, forward thinking person. You know, that's because I mean like, like God, dude, I was watching the Asmund Gold guy, and it's like yeah, like what is a Democrat? And it's like a Democrat is a person who gets other people killed so they feel good about themselves. And it's like that's I don't know, that's how it feels like sometimes, you know. It's just like yeah, they they do something to like they let other people die, for example, like letting a bunch of fucking illegal immigrants in that are not vetted. You know, that's the thing too, like like a lot of people forget that like if you want to go to, I mean, I don't know about other countries, I'm guessing it's the same for other countries, but like if you want to like go to America, right, like if you want to get like a visa for America, you are vetted. You're supposed to have like a background check, a criminal record check, like all of this stuff. And not all the systems are perfect, right? But if it is with a system that links with their system, they're going to be able to pick that up, right? You know? And so but that makes me think though, it's like, wait, Johnny Somali was like arrested in Japan, but he was still able to travel everywhere else. So I don't know how well that thing works, but at least if they let somebody in with a criminal record that went through the proper channels, then there's somebody to blame, right? It's like, oh, dude, you let this guy in? I thought you vetted him. Oh, fuck. And then that system gets questioned, and then it's forced to improve, right? But when there's no system and you're just letting anybody over, then you're just letting everyone over, right? Like they could be like, you know, like there's people that were like, yeah, we're Chinese, we're going through this route because it's easier. You know, I don't know, man. Just fucking weird. So silly, so stupid. But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on will America be great again. Long answer short, yeah. I think if there's no guarantee, but I think if there was ever a chance or a time in like this century for America to be better and to like rebound and really become like the efficient powerhouse country that takes care of their citizens and becomes, you know, like it gets back on top with everything and like helps world peace, like I think now would be the best. Like we are living through a historical moment, right? Like kids in the future, they'll be on their cyberpunk textbooks or whatever, and they'll be talking about this time and how much of a paradigm shift it was, you know. So I don't know, that's just, it's something to keep in mind, because I do think that like it's gonna be, I don't know, man, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be cool to see what happens next, and I'm looking forward to it. But I don't know, what do you guys think? I know you're in the Premiere chat. Hi, Premiere chat. How are you guys doing? Did you make it this far? What are you drinking? Are you having a good day? Yeah, it's almost 11 a.m. here, and I gotta edit the rest of these rants, and then I've got to work on that Sunday vlog, and then I'm gonna have to queue all those up, and that'll probably take, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, depending on how much of a slag I'm being with laziness. But yeah, guys, you know, that's it for, I guess, the rant today. I'm trying to kill time until it hits the you know, the 1 hour mark. But yeah, guys, I don't know. It's just, I feel like at the end of the day, like the good rule of thumb is like you don't fuck with other people, and they won't fuck with you. And if they do fuck with you, you fuck with them harder, you know. And yeah, it's just like I think that this will overall, I mean, the thing that pisses me off is that I can't talk about this with my liberal friends. They bring up all this other shit that, like, I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. Well, yeah, where did you get that information? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got it from the Washington Post. Oh, yeah, yeah. And I don't know, man. It's just like when, like, a conspiracy theory gets proven, even though everyone kept saying blah, 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 or whatever, and then somebody's like, yeah, but I don't like him anyway, so fuck him. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what is the point of all this? But anyway, yeah, that's what I got to say about the war in Vietnam. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing good, and you know, I hope that, oh yeah, we're gonna do a live stream after this, by the way, so I'll probably be putting that URL in the chat right now. And if you guys did not do it yet, please smash the like button and hit that subscribe button, subscribe bell, so you get notified when another rant comes out. And yeah, I guess if you made it this far, the secret comment of the day is, I like trains. I like trains. If you can write that down, I like trains, or a variation sentence of I like trains, I would appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm stuff. And yeah, anyway, you guys have a great night, great evening, great morning, great penis, and I will talk to you later. Stay black. Otsukaru sama deshita. Yeah, buddy.